The first poem is Early Morning, so the title is Grinding Down Above the Hills. Live reels, live reels. It's a rhyme, heels and reels, because it's poem conventions, so it's just to make it feel nice. Then precipitation in each and every moment. Life becomes a torment, which actually compares, and the impact is makes the readers put in perspective and take a clearer image of what it's talking about. Nothing seems to be at ease. Summer's heat itself because of a disease. Summer's heat itself because of a disease becomes a disease is a metaphor because gives comparison. It gives a comparison point for a better understanding, so that the audience have a bigger perspective of what the summer is comparing to and how it's being treated as a negative thing. Then stocks all the wine life can offer, wages a long drawn war. War. The word war has a denotation of tragic suffering, death. So it's exaggerating the impact of what it's talking about, of how nature is actually being destroyed and treated unfairly. So this word, actually the connotation is just the situation of war, but the denotation is this. Then with the already parched, it's a denotation of like it has been repaired but it hasn't been solved. So it's a strong phrase that it's a strong word that actually makes the reader reflect on how nature is being treated. The earth spins. Perhaps summer seeks to control its birth. It's a personification because it shows how nature is actually alive and creates a greater effect on the audience of understanding that nature also has to be treated correctly because it's alive. Then the earth spins, the sun from the eastern sky reaches, all seems to be a model. Dark clouds appear with its black colored pismire, that it's actually an imagery because it creates a clear image on the scenario in the reader's mind. The sky where the birds fly, placing pair against the rusty wind that roars, laughs with a mission to rush the battle. This is actually sensory language because of the words roars, laughs. It's a description to make the reader feel the scene more clearer and gives a greater understanding and contributes to the idea and the image of what is going on, so the reader can get more personal with the story. Then field, beat the summer's heat. So beat the summer's heat is also a personification I mentioned before. So she can repeat the word she is actually gives a pronoun to nature, creating an identity to nature, which shows that summer or nature, which is actually what we're talking about, is alive and must be treated correctly because it is alive. The tall trees, because of a warrior in this case, where shows the reader right, poured down heavily to ground the grains, lighting and thunder thrones, the rain with the prayer and down poured down. All of this is imagery and is a visual description that gives the author to the reader to give a clear scenario and the idea of what it's talking about, so there's a better understanding of how things are happening and and gives a perspective. At least the word we includes the reader, so it creates like a sense of urgency, so that the reader understands that they also need to take action about this problem, and it makes it more personal. And then finally, the last sentence, nature is cruel yet kind to believe, is also a contradiction because it says cruel and kind and believe in the same sentence. And this is a strong, lasting thought which leaves the reader reflecting on this issue and overall closes the poem.
So we have Once Upon a Time, that it's a story connotation, so it catches the reader and receives the message. We also have With Heart as Black as a Heart as Black as the Night Sky Hue. It's a simile. It puts the reader in a perspective and compares to make a reader understand easier. Okay, so easier, yeah. We also have the CEO, that refers to someone and gives a subject, so it makes the story understandable and it gives context. The nature of it. Story. Understand. Okay, context. Okay. But the forces of nature okay, that's also but the forces of nature. That's a personification, and it makes the reader feel engaged. Engaged. Okay. We have his, they, and the. This is second person, so it tells a story, but not as a personal form, and it demonstrates a perspective, a different perspective. So we have okay, so we have repetition here with his and his. It gives poem convention and engage. We have also humbled, defeated and confused, which is a mentioned feeling, and it makes the reader understand the emotions. We also have here the clown, that it's comparing and denotation. So it compares, so the reader has a clear viewpoint of the poem, convention, feelings, and to the subject. Clown is like ridiculous. So we also have a plan and hand, which is a rhyme, and it's again for the convection. Forces of nature is it repeats the topic and it makes it cohesive. Cohesive. We also have to all who seek to oppress us, which is it states that an audience, sorry. It directly transmits the purpose of the text and the specific audience criticized. And we also have they, which indicates a subject and makes the audience reflect. And we also have okay. So here we have, so let this be a warning, and this is a message directly, explicitly given to the audience, and it states a purpose or of the text.